Hi, I'm Kathleen.
Hi guys. Guess what? You won't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm going to do a craft channel. I don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to turn out, if it's going to be okay, if it's going to be completely chaotic, but we're going to try. We're going to try. I don't know. So stick around with me for a few minutes, take a deep breath, buckle up. It's going to be really interesting. Hi guys. The truth is that I've done two separate videos today. I did one video where I was showing you how to do an iron-on transfer. It turned out really cute. These are extra large XXLs t-shirts that I got at a big box store in my local community, and these are the transfers, and I ordered them off of the Etsy. The shirts were about $5.50, and they're long sleeves, and they're just comfy cozy, and the transfer was about $5, and I went through the process on the video that I made to show you how to do it. Now I know a lot of people have done this, but there's a lot of people who haven't. These are not as prevalent today as they were when my kids were younger. So I went through and I did this, and I showed you step by step, and the video didn't save. So I only had the two shirts, the two transfers, so I didn't have enough to make another video. So then I made another video. I did. And it didn't save. What we did is we used polymer clay, and I am going to do this one again. I have mascara under my eyes. Listen, folks, this is just real. I don't know what to tell you. It's just real. I wasn't crying over it. So I made a little jar of canned carrots, and I put resin in it. And I was hopeful that this would look like little tomatoes, but it could be whatever you want it to be. And when I put it on the Amelia B dollhouse pantry shelf, it's still gonna look like food. It's gonna give an illusion. And the last one I made was little peas, and I went through the explanation on how to form the shapes, how to bake the polymer clay, how to mix the resin to put it into the jars. And there are many ways of finishing these up, and we will do a video on that. You can print the little tags, you can make your own little tags, and it's going to be great when it's on the shelf. And we're actually at some point coming up going to make a shelf from scratch to put these on. So I do want to make more, so it's not the end of the world. It was just a little bit frustrating. So I decided for the first video, I'm not going to make anything. Welcome to my craft channel. That's it. But what I am going to do is show you some of the things that I have created this year to give you an idea of who I am, what I do. I do a show on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 Eastern Time. It's really my daughter's show, and it's called The Withering Cottage. It's on the YouTube. It's 7:30 Eastern Time, and it's vintage and antique, and she has so much knowledge, and she shares her knowledge, and it gives you an opportunity to pick up some really beautiful items from her sensibility. I just think it's great. And during the show, I have two opportunities to sell some of the things that I make. And I make a lot of things. I have a lot of hobbies, and I love it. I mean, it's who I am. For instance, let me just show you some things. Today, I also made these two hats. Every year during the, fall and winter, I find a pattern that I really like, and this is what I make. I make this for gifts and I sell them. And I love this stitch and I love this yarn. I think it's just a perfect combination and I love it. I'm a very fast knitter. I will tell you that. I knit faster than the average bear. So I did do these 2 hats today. Then in this box, what I have is all of the Amelia B things. Now, in case you haven't met Amelia B, I'm going to show you an example. She is not completed yet, but this is Amelia B. She is hand cut and then hand drilled, and then I tie her together with leather and I make her clothes. I hand paint her face and her hair. I make shoes from the polymer clay, though I am thinking of doing some different things for her shoes, making little felt shoes. And then she is one of my favorite items to make and sell. She just is. Some of the clothing I make for her that I have completed is, these are little tie skirts. Now this one, I actually went into my garden and got some flowers. I can't remember what they are right now. But I made sure that they weren't poisonous or anything like that. And I made a dye and I made this little skirt, and I also had made a top for Amelia B. And these go on over her outfit. So she has that. Then I make these little coats for her. So she will will come with these little coats that I hand embellish, embroider. And I make a lot of sweaters for Amelia. These still need buttons and things on them, and this is of course a Christmas sweater, and it's micro mini knitting, so they take a minute, but they're so cute and they're so special. The other thing that I make is in this box, and I always have tons of bloomers for Amelia B, because what I'll do is I'll sit down in the evenings and I'll embellish these also, and I'll embroider them, such as this is a little capelet. This is a little top. All these things, look at all the strings hanging off. That shows you. Here's a little dress I've been working on. And then we have many, many, many more pairs of bloomers that need to be embroidered. Another dress, more bloomers. There's some aprons in here and a lot more bloomers. So this is a little box that I always have nearby that I can just pick up maybe late at night when I'm not doing a thing and I just want to work on them. Another stack of things I have over here is, there's a lot of them. I don't know. This is cloth where I've sewed on this batting. The batting is a special batting that can go into the microwave. And then I'll sew these together. I'm going to show you a small example of a Halloween one that I made for Ariana that I actually haven't given her to her yet. They're little bowl holders that can go into the microwave, so when you take your item out, it won't burn your hands. They're very nice to have. My daughters love them. This one just was, as I said, was for Halloween. It has little bats on it, and it says, "Be named the Dark Mark." I think that must be from Harry Potter or something. I'm not sure. But that's what these are going to be when they grow up. One of my favorite things to do is my glass work. Now these are some Christmas ones. Typically, they will have the crystals on them, and that is an antique crystal. I cut the glass. I do the tinning, which is hot molten metal that goes on a copper backing. I hand paint it, and the ephemera I typically use is replica antique ephemera. I sometimes use antique ephemera. It just depends on my day and how I'm feeling, because when I put the antique ephemera on here, it is permanent. It's not going to come off. I do a lot of coating and things to keep it so it will stay. So I prefer to use the replica ephemera. This one is of some angels. And Here's another Santa. I love this glass on this one and the color. I really do like that one. And then this one is the red glass, and it has a little jingle bell on it. And these are sun catchers, and I will always put a ribbon on them. Another thing I made this year, actually these are two, is I got these in vintage tarts pans. And then these are some little guys that just sit. Again, this is replica antique ephemera. I put glitter on her. I put antique. Music, sheet music in the way back is antique. And I embellish it. There's a little tree with a little star. And then there's this little guy. And I make him from scratch. He's made from pipe cleaner's felt, spun cotton. And the only thing I didn't make myself was the vintage tartan and the greenery. But I really felt that it needed it, and I love how these turned out. I also have made little dollhouse chairs, which I love. And I probably might do a tutorial on these. Then little clothespin people. This is my little dancing clothespin girl. I made quite a few of those. And then here, I call these Amelia B's friends. They come in a little tin, and I hand paint them. And we'll do a tutorial on these also. I hand sew the little hats. It's Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus, and one of the little elves. So then, because it is the holiday season, I've just been making holiday sort of things. This little guy is just a little kitty sitting in a vintage tart with all kinds of embellishments, getting ready for the holidays. All right, what do we have next? This little girl, I love her. She's made out of pipe cleaners and tissue paper and some cloth that I had that I hand sewed. And she's holding a little bell. And I love her. She is very vintage inspired. And of course, we then have, of course, like you would know, we have, this is I guess we want to call it spun cotton. I believe I want to call it spun cotton. Snowman. Santa. And a little reindeer. All these things. I love making them. This is what I do, who I am. I knit a lot. I make hand warmers and scarves. I weave. I do all the things. I spin my own yarn, and then I can weave it. And then there's these little guys that hang on your tree. And they are, I don't know, cornucopia kind of things. But I love them. I think these are some of my favorites. And then last but not least, I made these little, I guess I want to call it a fairy garden jar, like a wish jar, a fairy garden wish jar. I made the mushrooms out of polymer clay, and there's moss in there with a little bit of sparkle just to give that effect. And I then made the little elf who sits on top. And everything is made from bits and pieces and scraps. None of this was expensive to make. You know, the knitting can be expensive because yarn is expensive anymore. But I was disappointed about our little jars. But we're going to do it again. But I thought 2 videos that failed in one day was enough. And I thought if I did another one and it failed, I might cry or something. And I really wanted to do this. So I'm going to put a little bit of responsibility onto you to give me some ideas of things that you'd like to see me make. I might be able to do it. I might not. I will try. It might be a complete fail, but we're going to try. I'd also like you to subscribe, like, and leave me a comment. That would be cool. So, I don't know. We're going to try this. Today wasn't the most successful day, but it's gonna be okay. There's plenty else stuff to worry about. So I thank you for sticking it out with me. I adore you. I can't wait to see you Tuesday night at the Withering Cottage, 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll be there and we'll do it again live. Bye, darlings.